It probably feels even farther away for Lita Gore. She covers state and national politics for the Birmingham News. Noteworthy, it was your paper that ran that front page editorial. You work for the news side, though, as an impartial reporter. Good to have you here, ma'am.
Thank you.
It seems as though Mr. Moore, Judge Moore, is trying to set this race up as Moore versus McConnell rather than Moore versus Jones. It worked for him in the primary. Does that still work?
Well, he certainly is thinking it works. And if you notice, he's going after Mitch McConnell and never mentioning Donald Trump. Now, of course, Donald Trump endorsed his opponent, Luther Strange, but Roy Moore has definitely doubled down on McConnell, but managed to skate around the fact that he's not received a rousing endorsement from the president either.
Well, yeah, and in the White House saying they're going to leave it up to Alabama voters, but at the same time distancing themselves a little bit. They keep noting that they were the ones who endorsed Luther Strange in the primary. How is Doug Jones handling this? You hear him, he keeps talking about hashtag kitchen table issues. Is he remaining silent about Moore, or is he going after him?
He's not remaining silent, but he's not gone after him as much as some national figures have. He walks a fine line here because Roy Moore has been a figure in this state for a long time. He's a very polarizing figure, but if you look at his numbers, Roy Moore received more votes than every Democratic candidate, including Jones, combined in our primaries. So you walk a fine line about how much are you going to poke at Roy Moore? Are you alienating more people than you're attracting?
Well, and certainly Doug Jones, at least when this race first set up out of the primary, had an enormous big, you wouldn't even call it a hill, really a mountain to climb in the polls. This from the New York Times, their headline, Alabama thought it had seen enough scandal, then came Roy Moore. Pretty well-researched and thorough article. I'm sure you've covered a number of the scandals that they talked about. The question is this. How much more can Alabama take? Are there other victims or alleged victims of Roy Moore that you're hearing about and that are maybe not ready to come forward, but as we get closer to the election, might be willing then to put their name out there?
You always hear things, and there's always discussion. I would like to sort of, I disagree with the idea that these rumors were common knowledge for 20 years, because that's not been the case.
Okay.
The problem is that so many Alabamians are having with this. The number one question I hear regarding the Moore allegations is the timing. So the closer we get to that election and the more sticky those polls get, the more people question the timing of new allegations. Well, the
timing, yeah. and I guess you move that out by questioning the timing. They question the sincerity. We saw the governor come out, Republican governor, and she said, I find these allegations credible, but I think it's more important to have a Republican in the Senate. We've seen the state GOP party also line up behind Moore, essentially saying the same thing, although defending him a little bit more. How deep does that go? How deep is his support?
Well, the Republican Party's pronouncement that they were backing him was major, because if they had wavered, he was a dead duck on the ballot, in all truthfulness. If they had pulled his support, he was done. The fact that they came out and backed him, then Governor Ivey came out and backed him, although they're not really backing him, they're backing a Republican in office, was monumental. And it was sort of a kick to Doug Jones, any momentum he has gained. And he has gained momentum. I mean, that's not up for debate. But they sort of put that death knell of, could the Republicans do something to get around Roy Moore? Because the Republicans in this state have proven that the establishment Republicans have proven they're going to try to get along with Moore, even though he was not their pick from the start. Yeah,
not their pick who they actively worked against. You talk about monumental, a lot of monumental things, probably that front page editorial with that headline, monumental as well. Lita, we appreciate it. I think you're going to have a busy couple of weeks coming up. Hope you get some sleep after December 12th. Nice to see you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.